right. Thank you, all our viewers. Welcome, everybody. I want to, in a special way, welcome Engineer Ndonga from Atlanta, one of the chairmen for NGC in the United States. We also have Alphonse Chalimo, also based in Atlanta, Georgia as well. And I believe he's the communications director for us at NGC, and as well as Samuel Chiraisi, who's also one of the directors for NGC and also based in Atlanta. And my name is Samuel Ireri. I'm in Minneapolis, one of the members of NGC, as well as a chairman for UDA here in Minnesota. Tonight, we just want to discuss a little bit about the issues that are going on in our country back in Kenya, as well as issues that are affecting diasporans in relation to the Kenyan government. And before I even say anything at all, I just want to, welcome all of you guys. Just say a quick word, and then we'll jump into the topics. Today, we are dealing with specifically two major topics. One will be the president's visit that is in Europe, specifically in Berlin, Germany, as well as we know there's Maandamano, demonstrations that are supposed to be happening this morning. Right now in Kenya, it's already morning. So in a few hours, we're supposed to start seeing demonstrations in Nairobi specifically that have been called by Raila Odinga and the Azimio fraternity. And then we'll discuss those issues too as well. Let me welcome Engineer Ndonga. Just say a quick word. We haven't heard from you since the elections. So now we are back on. So welcome for 1 minute. Just say hi to the people, and then we'll bring in Alphonse and Chiraisi, and then we'll pick up from there.
Thank you, Chair. For me, it's just to say thank you to the Lord. The thing that everybody was thinking is impossible, we delivered, and now we are the ruling party. And I want to say hi to the viewers. We're still pushing this wheel together. Thank you, Chair.
All right, thank you very much. Yes, for sure it was a good win and a sweet one, and that's why we have not even talked a lot. We are taking a little bit break, I believe, because hey, those campaigns were tiring, but we delivered. Buon Alphonse, what do you have to say?
Hey, Chair Ireri, thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity. We thank God, of course, because He's the one who has brought us this far. Now we are in 2023. 2022, as you said, was a very difficult year. A lot of work we had to do as Kenyan Diaspora, Kenya Kwanza Diaspora. As Chair Ndonga said, it was very difficult. But we thank God we come this far. But fast forward, right now we are in the government. We are here to deliver. Our Kenyans are waiting to see the manifesto implemented. We as the diaspora, as part of the diaspora community, we are here to articulate and to help the government specifically deliver the promise that it gave to Kenyans in what they call the document. The document, we were part of the people who authored. We gave our views as part of the representatives of the diaspora. So that's why we're here today. Chair Ireri, thanks for the opportunity again. And I want to say hi to our viewers all over the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bwana Chalimo. Mr. Chiraisi, I know you have been resting for a while. I've just seen you in one or two mtandaos here, but welcome officially to our channel.
Thank you so much, Chairman Ireri. Thank you, Alphonse. Thank you, Chairman Ndonga, up here in Atlanta. Yes, we have been somehow resting, but actually we have not been resting in the real meaning of resting. We have been thinking on how to feed this baby. We completed with our other team, and we were given the baby. So we have the baby in our hand. So we have been in deep introspection. We've been actually at work. The president came over in January. He came into DC, and we were there. And it was a busy engagement. It was work on top of work on top of work. And while we were trying to see how we can help articulate and work on the plan, we see the Mandamano 6 months down the road after the elections and everything is concluded, after the litigation is done, the worthy opponent, who is former Prime Minister, has gone to the street to relitigate those issues which were exhausted by the channels which are provided by law. So we are back at it again. Kenya had its own issues, own challenges, which were part of the issues raised in the campaign. So those are the issues which we should be actually dealing with, but now he has thrown in some mandamano as expected. Their constitutional rights to picket with the purpose, with end in sight, in a civil way, without infringing on other people's rights. But that's not what he's doing. Anyway, thank you so much. We'll touch on those.
All right, thank you, Bonacharaisi. So we'll just dive into it. First and foremost, let's discuss a little bit about development before we talk about this Mandamano, because we do believe the Mandamanos at this time, I don't think they're fruitful, to be honest with you. We'll also talk a little bit about Article 37 and what it says, because it's everybody's right out there. So we'll talk about that. But let's talk about the president in this administration. We've seen the administration, it's been traversing all around the world. The president has been moving around the world, trying to improve the lives of Kenyans, also touching on diasporans. In particular, let's talk about this Germany trip to Berlin. This trip to Berlin, it's been well advertised by the government. They've said they want to go out there. We want to discuss about what are the objectives of this trip. What are we likely to see in the lives of Kenyans, as well as the Kenyan diaspora? And when I talk about Kenyan diaspora, not just in Germany or in Europe, but all over the world, how is this impacting? And in reference to the trip that the president made to the US and the UK, and we've seen him go around Africa too as well. So let me start with you, Engineer Ndonga. If you can tell us and discuss a little bit about what do you think, what should we expect from this trip of the president?
Thank you very much, Bonatia. We know Germany is one of the richest countries in Europe. So, President, if you can remember on his first speech as president of the Kenya, he mentioned business. He want to promote Kenyan commodities. He want to promote Kenya outside Kenya. And this one is one of the promotion, trying to promote Kenya to outside world. If you all can recall, we have European Union. So if you target Germany, you'll be able to get to open up the market. If market open in Germany as one of European Union, it's a very big market, and that one will expand to entire European country. Remember the same thing when the president was in the United States, he was trying to promote Kenyan's commodity outside Kenya. And also Kenya were lucky to have a scientist as a president. This is the guy who knows the importance of energy. He know about the blue energy. He know about the climate change, and everything that he work around, he worry about 1,000 years when all of us will be gone. The generation will enjoy the country. He doesn't want people to cut all the trees out because they want a gas, they want a firewood to cook, all that, and all kind of stuff. He wants the current technology to be in Kenya. And that's the only way that we can lower the cost of electricity with the blue economy. We will lower the diseases because the environment will be clean. So the country will grow, the cost of production will go down. That promoting, making it a cheaper stuff, selling cheaper. Cheaper, I don't mean it's a low quality, a good quality but without a very high price to allow you to compete with other country, but still make profit. So I think the main thing will be global warming on his trip and promoting Kenyan outside Kenya. And also, I think the president will be meeting diaspora in Brussels on Tuesday. So that will be another one interacting. And you remember when he was in the United States, he promised mobile services, which we're starting to see toward the end of this month. Actually, if Share you can allow, probably we can mention where they'll be. I think Alphonse have that list where they will be next and what all that kind of stuff, because during our time we were telling Kenya the service will come to your doorstep. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Donga, and thank you for highlighting that and showing that, you know, this administration is pro-business. We want to ensure that business comes to Kenya. Very upfront when it comes to energy, climate change. We've seen how our president has been a champion of that. Before I come to Chelimo, who can talk about where he'll be and talk about diaspora issues, let me bring Cheraisi in and talk a little bit about something that I have observed personally and Kenyans have observed is the president will be the keynote speaker at the Berlin Energy Transition Dialogue. We have seen him being chosen as keynote speakers to so many other forums. Is that a sign of confidence in the presidency of Ruto and him emerging as not just a Kenyan leader or an African leader at the forefront, but as a world leader out there who's being trusted, where other governments and other organizations are putting him at the forefront of keynote speaker to so many other things? Can you just address that and, you know, tell us also your thoughts about this trip? And then after that, we'll talk a little bit about diaspora issues with Alphonse here in relation to this trip.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sammy. Really, before I touch on that, let me highlight on what Chairman Donga said. I'll add one or two things on the president's trip to Germany. One key thing we need to know about Germany is that it's based on, it's built on skill-based enterprise. It's engineering country. Its skill-based education is a very big key. So in this trip, the president will also be looking into creating partnership with Germany to bring this skills-based education to Kenya. And also on the trade, we all know that the challenge which is affecting our economy in Kenya, for instance, is because we are import-based economy. We have huge balance of trade with key nations like Germany, like even China, like even United States. Although at the moment, #1 export destination for Kenya is the United States. So the president will be also trying to talk bilateral relations on the business aspect of the relationship between Kenya and Germany. The president is trying to create a partnership with these big countries. It's trying to move away from the aid-based relationship, whereby we used to see America in terms of, okay, how much aid can they give us? We want to create a partnership where we can say how much goods can they buy from Kenya. You know, we don't want to beg anybody. We don't want to go around carrying a begging ball to these developed countries. Kenya is going is right now at the top in East Africa in terms of economy and all that. We might see the challenges, but it's one of the top. Okay, coming back to the president being chosen as keynote speaker all over, it's because he's very articulate, very knowledgeable, very deep. I remember when he came here as a Deputy President, the trip we had organized as MGC, there was a speech, there was a presentation he presented in the University of Kansas, health system. After the speech, the views, people were wondering, what a blessing if Kenya could elect a very knowledgeable, with genuine educational background, with genuine, deeply research PhD to be president. Lucky enough, he has been elected. And when he came in here in January, he was well received by the State Department compared to other presidents. You know, we're not trying to brag, but it's because of his deep articulation, deep understanding of the issues, pragmatic way of seeing the issues, and way of presenting. So that's what I'm seeing myself. I think he's placing Kenya in the top of the map as far as articulation of issues, knowledge base, deep understanding of where he's trying to take Kenya. I'll leave it there so I can add on to the plan.
Yes, thank you very much. And actually, also to add on that, before I bring in Chalimo, I remember I was there. Actually, we were all there when the president was here last, and we could see one thing I noted. Actually, you know, in the level of government, you know, after the president, we have the CSs. Those CSs are very knowledgeable. In as much as we can say there were political appointments, which, you know, politics has to play a role there. But when we went to the next level of the PSs, one thing that I noted, and I kind of had a conversation with two senior government officials. I don't want to name who's who, but they were saying that the Americans that they were negotiating with to come up with deals and negotiate with this time around, they were really amazed by the knowledge that these PSs, especially young PSs, I would say majority of the PSs we have seen, they're under 50 or under 45. Majority of them hold high education levels. They've, like our PS for diaspora, you know, she's a lawyer. She got educated at Harvard. She's doing a PhD at the moment. So these people, when they were sitting on the table to negotiate with their counterparts in other countries that were there, you could see Americans were trying to see how could they just avoid negotiating with them and start dealing with other countries, because Kenyans were not budging. They were very upfront. They went to toe with them. And they were like, for the first time, we have people who are very knowledgeable that could not be pushed around. America, you know, in as much as, yes, we were here, America had its agenda, Kenya had its agenda, they would go toe to toe and not just budge where America was taking advantage of that. And that's a key point to that, to add on to that. So Mr. Chalimo, let's talk a little bit about the diaspora, right? The president is visiting all these places. What can the Kenyan diaspora that's there expect? Where is the president going to be visiting? And touch a little bit about this partnership that the government is bringing diaspora into play more than any other governments that you've seen in Kenya.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Are you ready? If you allow me, I would like to also add to what Chair mentioned about the president.
Go ahead. Yes.
We know that when they had the environmental summit in Egypt, if you remember, the president was the keynote speaker representing Africa. And now we can see what they are doing again. And in my opinion, in addition to what Cheraisi mentioned, is that the president really cares about this issue. Apart from being articulate, those are very deep and personal issues to him. And whenever you have something that is really important, let's say the world cares about this environment issue, they want to have the person who really cares. It's like you have a baby. If you want somebody to hold your baby, you want to give to the softest hand. And I think for me, that is also one of the key issues why he's being selected everywhere, especially to do with environment. And also, you know, and it's a new generation of leaders who are going to propel and take the world to the next level. I think our president is being put as a future president. It's the people who are going to prepare the future of the world. And that's why he's being put in the front. Also to what Engineer Ndonga mentioned about the president trip, I can also add to that also is that I think one of the main reasons why the president also is in Germany is that, remember when the president came to DC, I remember we were all there. Cheraisi, me, Engineer Ndonga, Ireri, and our officials from DC and other places, and also Kansas and everybody else. And he mentioned very clearly that his main objective, among other things, of course, apart from the issues that are being provided to the president, and must do like security and stuff, his main problem was to create employment. Employment, especially to the youth and the kids who are out in the streets. There is no employment. The level of children that are coming out of high school to the field looking for work is piling up. The ones who graduated 3 years ago, whenever new ones graduate, they pile up. There's no exit. Everything is just backed up. And I think what he's trying to look for in Germany, and I think I heard the PSS mention it, is that he's looking for two things. One, he wants to entice those engineering companies to come to invest in Kenya, to do the manufacturing in Kenya. That way, the president can create employment for those young youth. Secondly, is that he wants to find a way of exporting Kenyans to Germany to be able to do work, and of course to create trade and all that. But those are two things that the president really cares about. But I don't want to delve so much into it. I know Ndonga mentioned more of it. But going to the diaspora ministry, and a lot of Kenyans are very, very excited and happy of the new ministry that we were given. We were part of the president listened to us as the diaspora and said, "What do you guys want?" And we as NGC, as part of the leadership, and also our UDA supporters and everybody else in the diaspora, we sat down with the president in DC towards last year. I think it was around August, not August, but early, sometime in the summer when we went in DC. He called us and he said, "I want to meet you guys and we want to sit down." And he said, "What do you want?" "I want to build a manifesto that catches every Kenyan wherever they are. Apart from every county in Kenya," he said, "that I want to listen to you guys in the diaspora. What do you want?" And among the things that everything we mentioned, a lot of things, and he has not been able to implement everything, but it's in the pipeline. But he said that I'm going to give you guys ministry that will be able to listen to you and be able to cater to your needs and to become your closest minister that will be coming to you, because the entire foreign affairs ministry was too wide. It was performing too many things, but he said that I want to give a minister that will be able to listen and to cater to your needs, especially to the diaspora. And I remember he mentioned that we've been left out for too long. And the first thing he did, and you guys remember, and we were so happy. I remember we called each other, we were like, "We can't believe this. The president, he keeps his word." And he did. He proven that. Because the first thing he said was that he said that I'm going to implement the first thing that he can do immediately, which was to give us a minister under our PS Rosalie. And he delivered that, and we are so happy because we have seen a lot of things. The Gulf, our children, our sisters who used to be dying in Gulf, it's gone down. We thank God. We don't want to say anything. We are happy that we don't have a lot of things going on right now, but we know it's the intervention of this ministry. Rosaline doesn't play. She knows her stuff. She knows what she's doing. She made 1-2 trips over there. She sat down with everybody. And I remember, we were following very keenly how she was going to handle that situation. But the most important thing that is happening right now, especially with the diaspora, is that we have been left out in the services of the government. The entire state, the entire U.S., the continental United States, there's only 3 missions. There is the Washington, D.C., there is New York, and then there's Los Angeles. Those are high commissions, but the D.C. is the main one. When you think about the entire United States, people from Atlanta had to fly. People from Seattle had to fly to D.C. to go and apply for passports and to renew the documents and even seek services from the government. And we have been pleading, the diaspora has been crying to every government way back towards the Moi time, saying that, why do we have to be doing all this? And the president listened. And he sanctioned. I remember in DC, when he came after he was elected in December, towards the end of last year. He told us, and he actually directed our PS Rosaline. It's like, I don't care, even if you have to stay here for 3 months. He said, you can stay, but I want you to solve these issues. is very careful and is very serious about solving our issues. And Piers Rosaline also doesn't play. She went ahead and said, you know what? We have challenges in the government. We don't have the budget yet because it's a new ministry, there's no money. But she said, I'm not going to sit. She went ahead and already go ahead and try to give us the services that we could have, even with a limited budget. So she called us and said, hey guys, I'm ready. I'm ready to roll, services. Like I can provide the mobile consular services so that instead of you guys traveling to DC, we can make a trip over there. We can send our officials and we can have the embassy to come and they can provide you guys services. And we couldn't believe she was able to pull that off in like 3 months. And this is amazing. I want everybody to go. If you are listening to us and you're in the United States or anywhere in the world, go to kenyaembassydc.org, kenyaembassydc.org, and you are going to see more details because we cannot discuss everything in the video over here in this video. But I'm going to highlight a few locations that is being targeted to provide. I would want to call it the fast roll. They are going to provide consular services, and there's a lot of things they're gonna provide. They're gonna be collecting fingerprints so that they can be able to give you a passport or renew your passport or apply for the new ID and even birth certificates if you lost documents. It's an array of things that we always have to travel to DC. But the places that these services are coming, I'm going to highlight, if you allow me again, Chairere, I'm sorry I'm taking long, is Illinois. And I'm going to send you to kenyaembassydc.org, not Kenyan, it's Kenya, kenyaembassydc.org. And you will see more details, including the address and the location. But they are going to Illinois. They're going to be giving services in Washington State, Ohio, which is Columbus, Minnesota. They're gonna go to Minneapolis and St. Paul. They are going to Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. Specifically, it's going to be provided in Marietta. Thank you to Bishop Gigi for giving us that venue. Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa. It's going to be in Kansas City, Florida, Arizona, and Texas. Texas, the big Texas, where everything is big. They say everything is big in Texas. You cannot leave Texas out. So we really want to thank the ministry for actually providing these services. Kenyans are so elated. We asked them to go ahead and sign up. A lot of people are calling us saying, why you guys didn't tell us this early so that we can go ahead and register, because actually the whole forms were filled up. So we are looking forward. There's more details about the date. I think the first one coming up, there will be, it's going to be in Illinois, Illinois on 30th of March, and also Washington State. Those are the first ones they're going to be doing, which is next week. Actually, I think it's going to be either Thursday or Friday. They're going to be doing the services over there in Illinois and Washington. But anybody who is in those states that I mentioned, and you don't have to be living in that state. You could be living in a nearby state. You need to come. Go ahead and sign up and come on. But I don't want to take too long. But please go to kenyaembassydc.org and tell your friends, tell everybody that the government is ready to serve you. They're going to be providing these services. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Chalimo. And once again, that website is kenyaembassydc.org. So if people can go there, see the dates of those consular service. And I do believe this is the first rollout, so we might have many more rollouts coming out, so to reach out other cities. And yes, we are seeing the government working. And because of time, I know we are running out of time here. Let me jump into the